Iran in turmoil. Protests escalate, death toll mounts and geopolitical tensions surge. Nationwide protests in Iran have entered their third week, evolving from demonstrations over economic hardship into one of the most significant challenges to the Islamic Republic's rule in years. The unrest has been met with a brutal government crackdown, overwhelming hospitals, filling morgues and drawing warnings of possible military involvement from abroad. A nation in the street. What began in late December as protests over soaring inflation, unemployment and a collapsing currency has spread across all 31 provinces of Iran, with large crowds taking to the streets in Tehran, Mashhad, Rasht, Shiraz and dozens of other cities. Thousands are chanting slogans against the government and its leadership, with some even calling for an end to the theocratic rule itself. Despite an official near-total internet blackout and strict communication restrictions imposed by authorities, videos and eyewitness accounts circulating online show widespread clashes between protesters and security forces. Crackdown and casualties. Hospitals overwhelmed. Iran's security forces have responded with force. Hospital staff across multiple cities report gunshot wounds and severe injuries among young demonstrators, with bodies reportedly piling up in morgues and emergency wards overwhelmed. At Porzaina Hospital in Rasht, about 70 bodies were brought in on one night alone, forcing staff to stack bodies in prayer rooms when morgue space ran out. Medical personnel describe horrific injuries, including protesters shot in the head and chest, and numerous victims with serious eye injuries from pellet rounds. Facilities lack enough surgeons and resources to cope with the volume of casualties. Rising death toll and STS figures on fatalities vary due to the communications blackout and conflicting reports. According to US-based rights groups such as HRANA, at least 2,600 people have been detained and over 110 deaths recorded so far. Other sources indicate the death toll has crossed 200, with some activists estimating it could be even higher. The actual number remains difficult to verify independently due to restricted information flow. Government response. Warnings, accusations and cracked. Iran's leadership has taken a hardline stance. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and senior officials have blamed foreign enemies, particularly the United States and Israel, for fomenting unrest, accusing protesters of being rioters or even terrorists. President Masoud Pezeshkian has stated officials are willing to listen to protesters, but also warned against those seeking to destroy society, reflecting internal tensions within the regime between reformist and hardline factions. Iran's parliament speaker Mohammad Bagher Kalibaf issued a stark warning that US and Israeli forces would be considered legitimate targets if Washington or its allies launch military action in response to the crackdown. International pressure and geopolitical The crisis has raised alarm internationally. U.S. President Donald Trump has publicly expressed support for Iranian protesters and warned Tehran against violent suppression.
The protesters, I just hope, just God bless them. I just hope the protesters in Iran are going to be safe, because it's a very dangerous place right now. And again, I tell the Iranian leaders, you better not start shooting, because we'll start shooting too.
Stating the U.S. stands ready to help if violence continues. Reports suggest U.S. officials are discussing military options and the possibility of strikes, although no deployments have been confirmed and diplomatic efforts continue amid heightened tensions. Israel is reportedly on high alert over the potential for broader conflict if U.S. involvement intensifies. Human cost and uncertain For many in Iran, the protests reflect deeper frustrations with decades of economic decline, political repression and limited freedoms. Despite the government's harsh response, demonstrators continue to mobilize, driven by a desire for change. With hospitals overwhelmed, international scrutiny intensifying, and the possibility of regional escalation, the situation remains volatile. The world watches as Iran confronts one of its most profound political upheavals in years. Justice will rise where voices are silenced, because truth, courage and hope cannot be buried, and the people's demand for dignity will one day prevail. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.